What am I to do when they spraying lies, but this is the truth? I ain't gon' post, ain't finna hate on your growth, but they gon' hear my side in the booth. Somebody lied to me too.
What's good? What's good? This Speaking the Real with Mr. Go Get It podcast, and I'm here with Go Get It Glezzy. We actually come on here and want to talk about generations, how the generations from when I was growing up to now where he's 24 right now, and from the time how things have changed in the generations leading up to him getting here being 24 years old, and what we dealing with now, and if we was dealing with the same things that we deal with back then. So we always, me and him always sit down and talk about things like this anyway. So we decided we'll get on the Speaking the Real and talk about generations. You know, he might have some questions, and you know, I may have some too. You know, because we trying to understand the actually the age bracket of what we dealing with by him being my son, and by how the younger men are thinking kind of totally different than the way we was raised. You know,
for sure.
So we I don't know if he want to ask some questions or he want to say something. You know, actually in far as the generation when it comes to it, if you looking at, well, you done heard how I told you how I was raised, what I was taught, what we did, and how we did it. But to now, you don't really see that, so you start thinking I'm a fossil to the point where because you don't see a lot of what we did. Like, you don't see a lot of the young men more in the yards. If he is more in the yard, it's because he's either trying to do a business or trying to earn some money. But it's not as plentiful. It's not as many doing it as when we was coming up. You know, like I'm a '70s baby, and he's a 2000. He's a millennium. So
yeah. No, I ain't a millennial. I think I'm like I forgot what it is, because millennial quick is in the millennial.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you was born in 2000.
Yeah,
so I don't even really know when all this millennium stuff started.
I mean, we were talking about that before, because I think TV made it like that, because you hear people be like, it's freaking millennials. And you hear it so much that it done past their time, and you still saying, not knowing the generation up under them ain't the millennials. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother gen.
It changed up on it.
Yeah, it do change up. It changed up like crazy. But how they got it listed is wild too. It's wild how they got it listed with all that. But I just feel like, you know, I also think too, you know, like times change a lot. A lot of stuff be moving fast now, and especially with social media, because it's even a difference in how it was growing up when I was 5. You know what I'm saying? Compared to now, for a 5-year-old coming up now. So the 5-year-old got iPads in their hands. You know what I'm saying? Got PS5s, PlayStation 5s, and game consoles and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? See, at 5, I mean, I can't really recall having my own. I had to go play with my big brothers or something like that.
You know what I'm saying? You was too young at that time.
Yeah,
you was too young. Now it come down to the age bracket that's got them now. You like, well, I was that age, I ain't have that.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I feel the same way, because there's a lot of stuff y'all had, and before y'all had, that I didn't have. Right. Like you know, like when I was coming up, you actually you worked in the summertime, and I ain't talking about you wait till you 15, 16 to fill out an application.
Yeah.
I'm talking about you work. You went out and you either, the way we did, you either crop backer, throw watermelons.
Crop backer.
Yeah. You know, I used to look crazy all the time when I be thinking about them picking cotton. And I'm like, oh, man. But then now I look at it and say, man, I crop backer, I throw watermelons, I pick tomatoes, peanuts. You know, and now you mention that to the kids, y'all around my age now, and the ones now that's coming up. Ooh.
Yeah, they gonna look at that like picking cotton almost. You know what I'm saying?
They look at that like picking cotton.
See that? You know what I'm saying? So
it's a big difference in what's, you know, from like I said, from the way I was raised. Just like if I went back to the way my mother was raised, it was a big difference. But I got, you know, because back then you didn't have a lot of people in your business because you didn't have social media.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you if I can remember correctly, I think 911 came out in like the late 80s, but it really didn't hit the whole United States till like the 90s, in the 911, because I remember EPMD, I mean not EPMBD, but it was Public Enemy. Right, you sang the song 911. I dialed 911 a long time ago, because I think still was just building it. So it's like, now you got the social media the way you ain't even really got to dial 911. All you got to do is just
go live.
Go live.
Yeah, you can go live, and then they can piece it all together from there.
Right, because I'm like, we didn't get cell phones I ain't see a cell phone. I remember they had the ones with the big bag. People was told in it. At one time they had them in the car, then they had them with the big bag. But now you got them like, you can call somebody on anything in your house if it's got a screen.
Real talk. Yeah.
So that's, and I think that right there, I think that might be one of the things that hurts the younger generation from being able to learn, because a lot of the stuff you got is almost like it's thinking for you.
Right.
And so if it's thinking for you, you thinking like it, and it's thinking like somebody that created it. I mean, not created it, but invented it.
Yeah, it's a program.
It's a program, just like the TV. They used to call that the babysitter.
Mm-hmm.
At one time, turn on the cartoons and put the child right in front of the TV. They glued to it.
Yeah. But then and then also too, like, I feel like all the things, even with everything in life, as long as when it has pros, it has cons. Yeah. When it has cons, it has pros. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, because even with the cell phone nowadays, Joe can look up something fast and figure out information quick.
And it's helpful.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's very helpful. Even a child. You know what I'm saying? You might be able to look up something, somebody tell you something, and you look it up for yourself, and now you can't just go off of what that person told you. And I feel like that's a lot of things too. Probably like we're back with your generation coming up, before even cell phones and stuff was. If somebody told you something before you could even go and look for it, you probably had to just go off their word or wait till you find out and experience it.
Right, or read a book.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Something like that. So it definitely has its pros and its cons. But like you said, though, the con of it is right there thinking for you, and you grow dependent on it. So when it's gone, now the knowledge that since you was getting it so easily, that knowledge is easily in the back of your head because you're so used to being able to look down and be like, "Hey, I got this right here."
And now, what you actually have done, actually doing now, you being programmed.
Yeah,
you being programmed to not communicate with people face to face.
Yeah,
that's why a lot of us that text. A lot of us, people don't want to talk face to face because you're being programmed, and then now you end up dealing with people that you don't actually know.
Yeah,
so it's like that's the con to it. Is that you dealing with somebody you really don't actually know, and you got somebody that live right next door to you, but that you don't even see or speak to, because of the, you got this device.
Yeah,
the way I can talk to somebody away in Spain. I ain't got to talk to the Joker nigga.
I can look, and I can learn to look at what they doing without even having to go over and talk to them. Like, what you got going on this weekend? If you post it on your story that you was at the beach or something like that, I already. Right. So I see what you're saying on that for sure.
You actually lose the communication. And what I mean by that, you lose the communication, the actual physical communication of talking with that person, being able to see that person, you move around. It's So now because everything moving fast, but you have to slow yourself down.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where when it comes to us as parents, to y'all generation, we have to slow you down, because when we was growing up, we thought things was moving fast. At certain times. Now when we was children, we thought, no, we're moving fast.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to be grown. But then once you got grown, things went to moving fast because things was added. Like you say, the cell phones and this and that. So wait, now it's like, well, you got babies. Got cell phones. Babies got iPads.
Yeah, and they growing up in it, already having that at a young age, right. and that comes with. That's what makes the generation, even the generation up under me, or just the gen up under me, telling how they gonna think at 30, right. 40 years old, because it could be very advanced, or it could have some other cons to it too. You see what I'm saying? But a lot of times we don't see it getting played out until maybe another 25, 30 years.
Right.
And then you see then you can go back and look at, well, this was going on back in 2020 or 2015. And now look at the ones that was 5 or 8 around that time. You know what I'm saying? Young around that time, how they thinking now and how they moving.
Exactly.
Technology wise, they could be extremely advanced. Because even us, just from getting on the laptop, computer and different stuff, the more you own it, then you start to learn and it start to make sense and tie in with other softwares. Exactly. So if you young and you are, because kids' minds like sponges, they take up stuff fast.
Exactly.
So if you young and you already learning all that, you know what I'm saying? But the only thing that scared me about, like you said, it programs to a certain extent.
Right.
But honestly, when it comes to that, I feel like it do depend on too the same things that y'all had to deal with as well, like what's around you as well as your influence. So now you got to go out the influence in your neighborhood and the influence of what you may like on social media. Your cyber, your cyber
neighborhood, because you don't really know all these people. If these people are real or not. All you know is somebody communicating with you through a device that somebody told you was okay.
Right.
And where it really kills, where I really feel like it's a con at is now you have to wonder how much communication is the child having with the parent for the parent to raise the child, that this don't let the device raise the child, but you raise the child. See, that's where you start coming with your generation. In a generation, you start getting your children to go in this way. You only want them to go this way when you done taught them your way. But if you haven't taught them your way and they already going this way, it's just like sending your child to school. That if that child is not talking to the parents every day or whatever, like they're supposed to, all of a sudden that teacher could become that child's parent in a certain way. And what I mean by that, they listen to this teacher, what this teacher say. So this teacher may not even deal their house the way the child parents deal their house. And now when the child go home, the child act out like if she around the teacher, he or she is around the teacher. See, this is the same thing what I'm saying about the devices. You got so many people coming on the device, the pop-ups and all this shit. We be on these devices and you got stuff that's popping up. So when this child on this device, it's stuff popping up. Who to say that child don't miss and hit something, and then whatever he hit, it looks good to his eye when he looking at it or she looking at it, and now they go to strolling, but they're a child. Now they're being taught something because, hey, the device is in your your grip. So that's and then that's a con to it as well.
Yeah, because then your parental awareness has to be on a whole another level now. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. When it comes to us as parents, we got to be on alert,
right?
Especially when it comes to children.
And especially the young gen between from 18 through my age and up, when they having kids, 18 to 35 or 40, however, whoever's still having kids, you know what I'm saying? Because I know they can come in any age, depending on what's going on.
Right. Somebody got to catch them.
Yeah.
And what I mean by somebody got to catch them is you shouldn't be to the point the way you feel you can't talk to a younger person.
Right.
Especially when you actually see them going in a different direction. And let's just say you see them going in a different direction that that's not their lifestyle. And the reason why that's not their lifestyle is because their parents. You know what I'm saying? So you should always, as parents, we should be able to say, okay, well, I see this young brother going this way, and I know his mother's brother. You should be able to come to them and speak to them, because if you actually been living a certain way, and that child, I'm talking about neighborhood children, community children, and that child has seen how you live or seen how you used to live and see the change, then that child will have a certain respect for you. If they see you're not doing most, the average person, when they see you not doing what your mouth say you doing, they not gonna listen to you anyway.
And one thing that I figured out too, that I feel about a lot of the young generation, even when it comes to kids, the best way that I seen for kids to listen was being understood. Right. Because even as a jit, cause I know when I was a jit, just from the fact that somebody talking to me and making me feel like they know where I may be coming from would make me listen to them now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it seemed like you care about how I think or what I feel. Because a lot of times as kids, you feel like nobody care what you feel. You got to shut up. I know when I was growing up, you had to shut up, keep your mouth closed. Grown folks in here, get out. See, kids nowadays ain't even going through that little thing. And I feel like that's important to even go through, because it to a certain extent, it signifies that discipline. You know what I'm saying?
And you're right, because you got to be able to understand the child. And what I mean by, and the only way you're gonna be able to understand the child, you got to be monitoring the child.
Yeah, and you also got to talk to them and hear what they think.
You got to talk to them. Now, I done heard the get outs when I was a child. But the get outs when I was a child came before the company came. And what I mean by that, you was already warned before the company got there. So when you did walk through there, you might be trying to be slick or trying to, I had someone, it was 5 of us in the house at one time. So some of us always, we try to do little funny stuff, we want to try to be cute. We do that.
Right.
So, but when you get, then you also have those parents that kind of overexert to get out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just like you might have a parent that that tear you behind up for an hour and a half. And then you might have that one parent that just smack you one good time, and then it's just according to that parent. But then also into the parenting, you got to know how you parenting. So that means you got to understand the child, and then you also got to put yourself back when you was a child.
Right.
Don't act like you've been grown all your life. You
Right, yeah,
because you haven't been
yeah,
grown all your life.
that's real, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, that's real though. Yeah.
but yeah, I just feel like with the generation now, and I speak on the male side of it. I see a lot of I see a lot of our males, young males, kind of like leaves that done fell off a tree. They just blowing way up,
Mm-hmm.
and I honestly, I always said I fought us for that. But we got to get a hold to them however we can. We got to get their attention, and then we got to, especially when you understand them. Like you can see some of them out there, you can see them, and you understand them. Oh, I understand where this brother coming from. That's when it's time to say, don't say, oh, I understand where you're coming from. He'll get out of it. No, he probably get out of it faster if you go ahead and slide up on him in a certain way, not a disrespectful way, but in a certain way. But like I said, if you've been holding your britches up as a so-called OG, wherever you been at, whether you been behind a desk or whether you was in the streets or wherever you was at, if you was considered somebody where you was at, you should be able to step to somebody. And what I mean by step to them, especially a youthful person, because the youth watch us more than we know they watch us.
Right.
Yeah, they ain't just sitting back doing their thing. They watching us because a lot of what some of them doing, they doing it because they either saw us do it or heard us talking about we did it or thought we did it.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? So it ain't like something that they created on their own.
Yeah.
It's just that we starting to see the repercussions of what we have done.
Right,
as far
right.
as parents, as far as guidance, we can see what we done, and that's a community, because a lot of kids, I done seen it where a lot of kids that been getting in trouble. I done seen getting in trouble. Their parents wasn't even like that, so I already know you ain't get it. You ain't get that from your parents. So it's somebody else, kind of. And then once you understand that, you have to
yeah.
Let me just let them know you got it wrong, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, because that's another, like you said, that's another influence.
Yeah, it's another influence.
That's another influence.
And then that also falls back to the parent. It's always gonna fall back to the parent when it comes down to your child. And the reason why it's always gonna fall back to the parent when it comes down to your child, because it's your child. Just like if it's your car, you make sure it's washed and clean and cleaned out, insurance on it, gas in it. It's your car.
Yeah, sir.
And you ain't have that. You bought that. So that child that you had, whether you birthed it or you put the sperm in to make sure it was conceived, that's yours. And you have to be on it like that. And if you're not on it like that, then I don't know what to tell you when they. Well, no, I know what to tell you when they go out the way. Hey, if they got your blood, they need to have some of your thoughts too.
Right.
And the good ones.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Yeah, they your blood for sure. Yeah. So, yeah, your thoughts are the good ones.
Yeah, because we all have bad thoughts.
Right.
And sometimes when our bad thoughts show more than our good thoughts, the kids watching.
They watching. Yeah,
and then
like I said, they brain like a sponge.
Right. And the bad stuff always be the one that look good.
Mm-hmm.
Bad stuff always look good. For some reason, it's pretty, but it's bad.
Right.
It ain't good for me, So, but And that's how a lot of us jump in and we do go to what we see.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once we hear it, and then we get there and we realize, no, this ain't right. We move around.
Yeah.
But if we see it, even if it don't sound right or smell right, if it look good, we'll still try to play with it because it look good.
Right.
But if it don't look good, we ain't gonna too much mess with it.
And also too, depending on maybe what type of learner you are. Some people can learn just by hearing somebody else what they went through and be like, you know what, I heard this person went through this, or I seen this with my mama, my daddy. I ain't gonna go down that route. And then some people, or if I go down that route, I'll be straight because I think like this. You know what I'm saying? Right. And you got to do it and then bump your head and be like, oh, snap with this one. You don't even play like that.
But most times that's how we get caught up. We get caught up on something that we already was warned about, but we feel like we can go through it anyway.
Right.
We can beat it out. And some people do beat it out. It might take a while, but some people do beat it in. But the majority of the people that jump in at something, they don't get away. Right. And the reason why they don't get away is because you underestimated something that don't give everybody the same feeling.
Real talk. And I'd have been there.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we all done been there. Yeah, because Lord knows what I done did my wrong. You know what I'm saying? And then plus when your people talking to you, and even if they don't know what you got going on, they may say something and it kind of pertain to what you got going on in your head. You kind of like, I hope that don't happen. You know what I'm saying? And then it happened.
And the reason why it happened because you already know it was gonna happen because you said you hoped it didn't. But you done already went through the process of it.
Getting this thing started.
Once you done lit that fire, man, and if it get a hold of any kind of gasoline, you might as well either back out, because stomping it out, you still gonna mess something up. Stomping out, you gonna mess your shoes up because it's something that and then sometimes you might just have to let it burn out on its own.
Right.
The reason why, because hey, that's what it is. What the problem is with the generations now, nobody want to be responsible for their actions. They feel like I should be able to do this because you made me feel like this. Right. And they still feel like they're right, but don't realize that you're not right. See, now once it get to the point the way it get mental, physical, you could stop some physical stuff if you can get to the mental. But if the mental already gone, sometimes you have to let it play out.
And see, I think that come too with just the almost like what you said earlier about generational curse or generational change.
Right.
With what get thrown down, because sometimes like certain stuff, and I ain't gonna go too deep in the depth with everything, but sometimes with certain stuff, it can be like let's say like you said, Joker think like, well, this how you played, or this how you did me. So I should, you feel like you right for that, you know what I'm saying, for how you standing. You know what I'm saying? But then like if you go back in time too, with how black people were wrong. Right. But by from America, from whites for so long. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Then you get the mentality where it's like, well then I'm a thug, do what I gotta do because y'all already, you know what I'm saying? Like because you already pointing this. Then when your kids get to hearing, seeing, or growing up, you know what I'm saying? Now they holding you to that same thing that maybe it's similar in a way, you know what I'm saying? But it changes depending on the perspective of the younger generation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then that's when that like, cause what you had said, you were saying about how they was like, you did this and then you like you feel like you right. You know what I'm saying? But you probably ain't right. You know what I'm saying? You ain't right. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you already know you ain't right. Once the mind triggers, the mind already know from right from wrong.
Right.
But what I mean by that is when you do something just cause somebody did it to you, and you say, they took my sneakers, so I'm gonna take their jacket. But you feel like you're right because they took your sneakers.
Right.
So, but you don't realize you're wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, and that's mental.
Yeah,
you just did a physical act to a mental thought.
Yeah.
And you wrong. Well, the reason why I know because I live like that. I live that way. The way if you did this to me, I might not do the same thing to you, but I'm gonna do something.
Yeah, I'm gonna do something to even the score.
I have done that. So once you do it, you know how it feel when it get done to you. You know how it feel when you do it. What we don't calculate in our minds before we do it is this gonna be a repercussion. I'm sowing a seed right now. So, but we don't realize that it might not even be that person that come back at us. It might be somebody else down the line. It might not. It might take 4, 5, 6 years. Right. But, because you was already, and we already know it. But if we think in our mind, well, I can handle it. How can you handle something when you don't know how it's coming?
Yeah.
No,
you're right.
When I go do something to somebody in a mischievous way, how can I say I can handle the repercussions when I really don't know how the repercussions gonna be coming? Because you don't.
Yeah.
Because if you come in at that person don't know you coming.
Yeah. No, real talk. Because I done told myself through stuff like, man, I do this, I can handle what come back. You know what I'm saying? Then when they come back, now I'm like, well, dang, boy, like I don't know if I can handle this.
Yeah, I wasn't looking for it to come that way.
I wasn't looking for it to come like that. But that's how it always come though. That's how it always come. And I be trying to tell people that, man, you can't predict the karma. You know what I'm saying?
You can't predict what's gonna happen.
Yeah, and even if you do slightly predict what may happen, that don't mean you're gonna technically be ready when it happens.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Joker say all day, they come around here doing this and this and that third. I'm gonna be like, but then when it do happen, maybe you got a cup in your hand. Maybe you got your daughter in your hand.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't know what's going on.
You left the strap home and all that.
Exactly. Just because you had to run on the road and get a smoothie. You know what I'm saying? Like it be simple stuff like that. But now you caught slipping and you say you can handle it. You always preaching about handling it. But that timing, dog, because you can't tell when it comes to that.
That's what it's about, and that's where it get to the point now, the way it's like it's been going on since the beginning of time. We that people think like that. And people thought like that. It's just they want to get to the point the way you can see it, and you see it a lot, and you don't see it just in one or two people. You see it in a whole lot of people. Yeah. You actually sometimes see it in yourself, even at your thought. My thing is, because we always don't think of what we'll do if somebody did something to us. We're gonna think the worst, then we're gonna think a calm way out. That's why that's why you're always supposed to think.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now if you want to think and you want to think yourself into the point where I'm a battlist, then yeah. But if you thinking, what I mean by that is if you thinking about it knowing you don't want to do it, but now you got to think yourself to make you want to do it, you finna have some problems.
Right.
But if you think it and you say, you know what, how can I avoid this? It don't mean you're scared. It just means I know for myself the repercussions coming. The generation now, they don't even think like that. They be like, bump that.
Yeah.
You can take this joker head off.
By the time they realize the repercussions coming, they already messed up. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I even mean when it comes to, because not everybody in the younger generation, if they think like that, they might not think like that for ill. Some of them could think like that and be ambitious in school. You know what I'm saying? Right. And then what does that make? You know what I'm saying? That probably make a great individual, but then some of the ones that and I be looking at it too, like even now, we look at all these people like all these people that came up like Snoop Dogg, and I'm a mainly use rapper because I rap. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay.
It's best to stay in your field because if you get challenged and you ain't in the right field, you finna get knocked out.
Yeah. Real talk. So I can't really go into politics and nothing like that. I speak on them. Any people, like even certain celebrities, maybe actors and stuff, because I don't know about it. But
I can speak on all of them.
Off top, I already
know. I be studying all of them because it's entertainment to me and it's fun. I don't know them, they don't know me. I'm gonna study you, and then whatever.
Right.
But go ahead, you saying about Snoop Dogg.
Oh yeah, but I was saying like even when it come down to like Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, you know what I'm saying? When you look at a lot of them with like NWA when they was coming up, I'm pretty sure that at the time when they was coming up, you had a lot of you had the older generation looking like these they good.
I could tell you straight up, yeah. And the reason why I could tell you straight up, yeah, because that was my group.
Right.
I mean, hip hop.
But to say look where they at now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that didn't it didn't completely define them and lead them closed in that, because some of them grew out of that, mentals grew, you know what I'm saying. Some people got locked up, some people got killed in it, you know what I'm saying. Like even with Tupac and all them, they're not here to speak right now, but there's still people from that time that was coming up thinking like that or thinking somewhere around that, and they up now and they powerful figures, you know what I'm saying, are influential people. So the younger generation could have a shot at that too, you know what I'm saying. But especially once just because they get in some foolishness, it might be what changed they younger generation when they get 40, because they could speak, you know what I'm saying.
Well, see, now I could speak on in the NWA and all of them really. When they came out, they weren't liked by nobody. That as far as music concerned, like they just wasn't liked because of the song, you know, F the Police. Right. That was, you know, and then they was talking about a lifestyle that they was actually trying to get away from. And what I mean by that, because if I'm not mistaken, none of them was in no gang with one. That was Easy. Dre wasn't in no gang. He was a music guy, but you know, they wanted to get out of Compton. They wanted to get away from. They liked their music. They seen what was happening. Whatnot. They wanted to get out of that. So their mentality was to get out of it. And a lot of the artists I seen back in my time, when I was like when the NWA, that's when I was out there really with the music and all that. Oh, I'm still with it, but I'm like really listening to it. A lot of these guys was actually trying to get away from the streets. Now you see the younger generation actually running to the streets. Yeah. And they run into the streets because they seen some street people get out the streets, and I guess they done got their minds twisted. I ain't gonna say they got their minds twisted, because a lot of it got to do with the doggone industry. Yeah. Because the industry ain't gonna take positive too tough. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's like you said, they was rapping to get out of it, but that didn't stop the world from glorifying it. Right. You see what I'm saying? Right. So then, and that's what coming with the younger generation now, because it's so used to being glorified. You growing up and you see these rappers and like, boy, look at him. You know what I'm saying? Look at 50, look at Q, look at DMX. You just see all these different rap Boosie. You see them all coming up, and you just looking at it. You know what I'm saying? Right. Not knowing they may not even be trying to glorify it, but that's their life. Right. You know what I'm saying? So all they're gonna know to do is talk about their life. But the younger generation who life it might not be, you probably sitting at home broke or hungry. You know what I'm saying? You looking like, man, I can't wait down. I want to be like that. And then you might be up, you know what I'm saying, in a good living situation. Mm-hmm. But you looking at them and wanting that so bad that you take what you got going on for granted. You come up in the suburbs, you know what I'm saying, but you take that for granted. Want to rebel against your mom and your daddy because they say go hit the streets. I gotta hit the streets and go get it. But he telling you I gotta hit the streets and go get it because this is why I'm living. These are cards I was dealt. Right. Now you want to be dealt on cards by choice. You see what I'm saying? Because you're glorifying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's what I mean by we see when it got down to the point, like if you look at this in the NWA on the album, it says they got a song called Express Yourself. Mm-hmm. Express yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got some music that they can't. They actually telling you, you know, here's a little something about a brother like me. Never should have been, but it never been dependent. It never been locked up. But he was talking about people that he knew that was in his family, or people that it was stuff that they used lyrically, and at the same time, you got to have a business mind. Right now, and what I mean by business mind, you got to know where you trying to go after music, as well as where you trying to go in the music. But you also got to realize that in order for you to make the music, you got to stay safe. Yeah. I understand. You got to stay safe, and staying safe. I don't waving the guns and showing the money and in the dope game. You showing a game that really, to me, done died out. You got people on TikTok making more money than some dudes on the corner that's so-called still selling drugs. Right. So you come on, unless you got a real pharmacy. Yeah, unless you own a pharmacy like CVS or one of them like a Walgreens, you got a pharmacy. You are you one of the ones just flying it over here? You might better think on another job. Right. And then the thing about the music, when it comes to the younger generation now, you got a lot of younger people trying to make music and it's clutter. It's like a clutter. It's the
Definitely a
whole,
clutter.
and then nobody wants to work with each other. Everybody want, and that's even the worst part. You might have a 10 million artists, and out of them 10 million artists, only a million want to work with you. That's the numbers is messed up on that end, because you're not gonna make it in the music world nowadays just by yourself. Somebody got to see you. Somebody got to talk about you. Somebody got to promote you. Somebody got to do something.
Yeah. No, you're right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just like when so it's just like in the game, you don't even know, you don't really know the guy you buying the drugs from. All you know is he just got a good deal. You don't really know him. So it's all the same game. It's just where your heart is at. And the younger generation, to the point the way our heart was in the game to get out the game. I'm gonna sell enough to get me a business. Once I get the business, boom, I'm done. But most times it didn't work like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sir.
It always worked the way that one that would hustle and grind. As soon as he really start trying to do right, bam, he either get killed or he go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
So that so it's just that I think when it comes down to generation, I think we as adults, and I'm talking about my age, you know what I'm saying, as adults, I think we need to at least make sure we own our kids. And what I mean by own our kids, we making sure that whatever you're doing, you do it, but try your best not to be stepping on toes and burning.
And still the values and stuff into them
Right.
properly. Because at the end of the day, when you instill that foundation in them, it could be 15, 20 years, 30, 50 years after you're gone, but when it hit, it's gonna hit because somebody got to carry it. You got to continue, because or else it'll die. If you never say nothing, never teach them none of the values, most of them are gonna die. If not all of them, and by the time it get down to their kids and it's your grandkids, you already done lost them because you would never instill the values. But like you said, when you instill them, though, no matter what, even you can rebel against this while you 15 up to 25, but then when you 28, it might be like, Mama and Daddy, we used to be saying this all the time, and it makes sense.
That's right, because showing up, whatever that parent taught that child, if it's solid, and what I mean by solid, it's solid through mental and spiritual, and what's the other word I'm looking for? And through experience, it's gonna come back. Even if it don't even look like it is, it's gonna come back. And the reason why, because like I said, when I talk about things, I talk about things that I either done. I talk about things. What I mean by I done it to people. People done it to me. But I know I done it, but I know how it feels. So I talk about that. So I know my mama, she instilled a lot of how I move right now. I'm a male. I might not move in the way she wanted me, but every game I moved in, I used something what she taught me. To where now, once I got away from the game, I just started using other things that I liked it, because all it's about is going and get it. Let's go get it. Whatever you like, put it in your heart, put it in your mind, put it in your spirit. You move forward.
Yeah.
A lot of people would talk themselves into something, and then as soon as they hit the first bump, they want to quit because they're not looking for the punch. It's just like a boxer. Any boxer that gets in the ring expects not to get hit. When they get a rude awakening.
Real talk.
Anybody that step on the football field expect not to get hit. In for a rude awakening.
Yeah.
So, because this is when you know it's physical, and when you know it's what it is, you go in there like it is what it is, and you don't go in there to change nothing. You go in there to stay the same, and if things change around you, then it changes. But once you fix in your mind, you could change something. No, you just put yourself in a fight that you ain't got no business in.
The real talk, and then not to change the subject from generation, but just to go off what we're saying right now is one thing I stand on, and I've been standing on for a long time. Be aware. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like overall, be aware. You know what I'm saying? Whether you being aware of the people you hang around, being aware of the situations you get yourself into. Because like you said, you on that football field. you can't expect not to get hit.
You can't
but some
expect
but some jokers on the field before they even mentally realize they on the field, but physically, bro, y'all here.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So then when you get knocked, you like, oh,
right.
Just
No, like I say, bro. Like I told you, when we watching the football game, if you ever see a defensive player leaning out of the way of a hit, something wrong.
Yeah.
I can understand an offensive player leaning out the way because he want to keep his body preserved. I know I'm gonna get hit, but I'm trying to soften the blow. But when you get a defensive player, you out there on the field to hit, and you leaning out, you don't know. You don't know what game you in. That's what's happening nowadays. A lot of people jumping in stuff because other people make it look good. See, NWA done made it look good.
Yeah.
50 Cent made it look good. Snoop Dogg made it look good. Eric B and Rakim, they made it look good. So once it started looking good to the people, it was already looking good to us in the streets.
Right.
Because we loved the music. But once it started looking good to the shark, and when I call the shark is the person that want the money off of what this can make now.
That remember what 50 said in Hustle's Ambition. America got a thing for this gangster.
Yeah. So now all America want is for y'all to be gangster.
Right. Because they know it's gonna sell.
They know it's gonna sell. Community. And one thing about it is, even when you pass and die, America still make money off of your music. Yeah, your family or whoever got the rights to your music gonna make the money, but America still making money off of you dead.
And they gonna make more money than what they made when you was alive.
They taxing everything that come through. Mm-hmm. So why would a young brother even wanna do it that way?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Come on now. Like me, I'm a Tupac fan. I even was saying to myself after he did hit him up, whatnot, I was like, okay, tone it down a little bit because somebody may come at you. Because the way you're coming now out here, and I was out there in the streets, and I'm like, I was in old little town, I'm in the 386. You way out there in California and fooling around with New York with it, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I already know it's dangerous out here because it's dangerous over here in the 386.
Right.
And then you running out, and then this what happened. But my thing is, sometimes some people know what they in, some people don't. I do believe Tupac knew what he was in. I do believe that, but I do believe there are some younger generation out here don't know. And what I mean by that, it sometimes it ain't always the artist that get hit. Sometimes just be the bodyguard or the homeboy.
The homeboy, the entourage.
Because he the only one we can see right now. And that's the way they playing.
That's the way they playing. Yeah, that's the way they playing.
And I'm like, I'm saying in my mind, when NWA was out, the artists wasn't getting shot up like that. It was gangbangers getting shot up. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now you got the artists. Ain't nobody there. The gangbangers done seem like the gangbangers done stop. Now we just kill the artists. Especially if the artist down with one of the other gangs.
Yeah, that's how it play.
So, and I'm like, well, it almost make you think it turned into the Wild Wild West. But like, they go. At first, I was telling my mind, back in that day, I thought we were wild. I said, boy, but then I seen what these jokers here killing, like is,
Yeah, but
they getting points for it.
That's how they doing. They're counting up points for it.
But where the points going? That's what I don't know.
The points ain't going nowhere to their soul. And honestly, the points you get take away from the points you got in your soul, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, man.
And I remember what Tupac said in this one song.
I know I gotta leave here, but I ain't finna rush it.
Right. And I remember what Tupac said in that one song where he said, he had said, I breed thug mother was even worse than me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And Joker seeing it now, you 20, 30 years later when you thinking like, man, why they acting like, and it's like, but them Joker told you.
And the main Joker doing is a Joker that wasn't even born before he passed.
Right. You
know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, now, wait a minute. Now, if that's the case, boy, why ain't nobody really trying to follow in the footsteps of Malcolm X? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Medgar Evers, them type people following their footsteps. I understand. But it's because of the fame, the glorifying of it. And like I say, once the Sharks got their hands on it.
Yeah. And then a lot of music now, you might have a couple Malcolm X's rapping. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
but it's interpreted.
Pushing it.
Yeah. Is they pushing it?
Yeah.
And the industry ain't trying to push nothing like that.
Right.
You get a feel the rappers come out and all them jokers think like how a Panther think. You know what I'm saying? And they rapping and speaking knowledge. The world, first of all, well, how the media is now, niggas gonna clown in general, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, what they rap about? You know, they ain't gonna try to show it no love. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's so caught up. People like drama music and they don't even realize it. As soon as you scroll, you hear Joe, I got 40 clips up in there, hit it. Yeah, and then the way he said, now then when he compared with the number 40 that the basketball player on, well, this spitting. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? But they're talking crazy. But, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it was actually, you know, it's like codes. They're saying codes, but it's what you're using.
Right.
Like you said, once they heard the basketball player, okay, you know what I'm saying? But I use a violent movement. I use a violent saying.
Yeah.
Before I use the basketball player.
Yeah.
Or I use the basketball player, then I use the violent saying right behind it. All out. I end up listening to some of the new music now because I be around different people, and I do hear some artists that I don't know I don't be knowing their names because I get to the point where I be like, I know enough artists where I can go and let me go listen to this music.
Right.
Because a lot of the music it's hard for me to pertain to because the lyrics change up so much, and what I mean by the lyrics change up, I'm talking about in one song, in a 16 bars or whatever. I don't know how many bars they're doing now because the songs don't last as long as they used to back when we were rapping. But the bars that they using is like out of 16 bars, they gonna mix dope, sex, killing, robbing, and all these 16 bars to where you really trying to figure out what's the concept of the song that you telling me.
And a lot of time with the music now, they're not focusing on the whole concept lyrically no more. They focusing on the concept lyrically, musically, like as far as the beat. Like sometimes when a joker play a certain beat, when you hear the beat, whatever you think or feel, you might blurt out. But honestly, your feelings might not be logical. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you know what I'm saying? So what you talking about, you really going for a vibe now. Because most people when they listen to music, now I ain't gonna cap. Some people like how Rod Wave rap. He pull people in because he emotional, right? But he's singing, and then what he talking about his life situations and stuff like that. So that still has that real substance. But then you got some cats that have the vibe where they got like maybe a Travis Scott type vibe, Young Thug or some Juice WRLD, where maybe they talking about their feelings, but they also focusing more on how the beat make them feel. They might say something crazy, and then it depends on the state. So the music now, because I feel like back in the day, a lot of times the lyrics, we focused on the lyrics a lot with what that nigga saying, the bars, how it coming. Okay. Then it got to the point where it involved now. So you focus on what they saying, but you also focus on how the music make you feel when you hear it, or the vibe it give you. Maybe you out with your girls and you listening to Glorilla or something. She talking about do this nigga like this, do this. Y'all all going out to turn up and go run niggas anyway. You know what I'm saying? So then you relating with that, hollering that, feeling that. So it just and like we said, there's so much music out there. So many people doing it now. The game they're not oversaturated. So now you got the nerds can rap. The fiends can rap, the ones that selling drugs can rap, the robbers rapping, the killers rapping, everybody rap. So you hearing all these different perspectives. Right. And then there be a lot on your brain when you already for real, you thinking like, cause you listening to you might be a drug dealer and you listening to the perspective of a nerd. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And maybe you know it, maybe
because honestly, if he got a monstrous flow,
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And bam, it's sometimes that you got the beats that catch people, and then you got a flow, you got the wording that catch people.
Right.
And if a joker wording and his flow is good, like you say, even a nerd can catch a street dude. You know what I'm saying? Catching right off the bat. Boom, boom, boom.
And I'm the type of dude, I hear your music. And if I see you live or you represent your music in any type of way and it matches up with how you act on camera and everything like that, I respect it a little, even if I don't agree with what you're rapping about. I respect it a little more because I just got to understand, hey man, that's a lifestyle I want to live.
Well, see, that's what the music that's actually what the artist supposed to be doing. The artist supposed to be really painting you a word picture of himself, or herself. Right. It's just like a painter. Once he paint a picture, he say he put his signature on it. I ain't talking about he actually put his signature on it, which he do put his signature on it. But I'm saying he put his signature on it to where you can look at that painting and you can say, oh, so and so always do this to their painting.
Right. Like a trademark that you put on. Yeah.
So an artist when he rap or whatever he doing, even if you got a ghostwriter, you still want your ghostwriter to write to who you are, because once the fans, because let me tell you something. One thing about this, sooner or later the fans gonna get close to you because it's always with somebody close to you before you was famous.
Right.
So then once that fan get close to you and realize, oh man, they don't even live like that, they get mad, they get upset. You know what I'm saying? Because your music doesn't touch them, and they know they live like this. Now they don't get upset that they live like this and you ain't. They get upset that you talking about you living like this. Mm-hmm. And you making money off of a lie because you don't live like this.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So some fans will get upset and then some fans won't. We could, it's just a core. Me, I'm like this here. I don't too much listen to no more of the new artists now, because when I was coming up, we knew the artists that we would listen to was messed up, are doing what they were saying, because we was watching them get harassed and arrested for little stuff. Right, you know what I'm saying? One of your homeboys had to take a charge for possession because you just signed the deal, whatever. You have these things happening, but now what's happening is like y'all how y'all losing money, y'all taking each other out, y'all killing each other. Mm-hmm. So that one like this. That's the difference. Really, that's the difference. I understand the thing about Tupac and Biggie, but look how long it took before any other rapper started shooting at another rapper. What these two guys really wasn't either. It was their entourage. So it was one of them entourage. What we could say for sure. We getting down to the bottom of that now. You know what I'm saying? But it was so, but now it's the artists actually cocking the guns and going at each other. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Back then, that was all that was money and shut up. I'm gonna pay out some money to shut you up. That's what that was. This here is it's different. So
it's very repetitive. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's at a high. Because like I know rappers rap. It have been a bunch of rappers throughout the years, even after Tupac and Biggie, that have been killed or something like that. But the way it done been these past like maybe 8 years, it done been pretty excessive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
My thing is this: if you go back to and what I mean by rappers getting killed is this: another artist himself and his entourage is going at another artist. I know you are a joker. He on the street corner in a drive by, okay, but the drive by wasn't even meant for him. He just was there that day. Boom, when he get hit. I don't. But since Park, I think who the first artist? I think the first artist I heard that got killed since I heard about Pop, with me hearing. I don't know if but this is about shows called by another artist in his group was, I think, which one, that dude, the young boy that was in Georgia got killed. He was just coming up. He was out of Jacksonville, but he got killed in Georgia, or he was going back and forth from Georgia to Jacksonville. He ended up getting killed at an apartment complex in Georgia. That was like the first. This is been about 8-9 years ago.
You saying getting killed by like another rapper and they entourage?
Yeah, he was in a gang. This artist was in a gang. That was the first one I heard before I started hearing about Dolph and the other guy. What the other guy name that got killed?
You got Dolph. You got King Von.
Oh. See, this guy here got hit like a couple of years before. Then you got the situation with Takeoff, but you don't. But see, the Takeoff situation, you don't even see. That's crazy, because it wasn't like he was a threat on his life at any time. You know what I'm saying? But it's just that it's been a minute after Tupac them. So that means after all these years have passed through, who they end up getting your balls get that big that you okay, now I'm just gonna the rappers gonna go after the rappers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's how
So it's like just like Boosie said, I seen him in the interview. He said Boosie was like, we extinct now. We hunted. Which rappers are, they being hunted.
Yeah,
they being hunted by each other.
Yeah. You hunted by each other, and you hunted by the streets. Just from somebody, then they come over here with them chains on. I'm gonna take it from them, and I'll lay them down to take it from them.
And these guys are talented. So you really wonder like, what's going on with the generation? What's really going on with the generation? Like, y'all don't see y'all killing each other. Y'all don't see it.
Yeah, blinded by your own greed and hate.
Man. After a while, they don't even want to arrest you. They just hope you have some beef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be.
But yeah. I think when it comes down to it, we just the older people got to kind of the ones that you can talk to and you can talk to. You need to start talking to them if you ain't already talking to them. And I know some of them out there don't want to hear what you got to say, and some of them out there probably ready to fight you. You know what I'm saying? Just because you in their face. You know what I'm saying? Because I done been there too. I done been there. I done been that child that you come to my face and you're an adult. Especially if I don't really see you. You know what I mean? If I don't really see you, I don't really respect you to the point like that. And then it might not be because I ain't seen you. It might not be because you ain't never lived the life you live. It's probably because I have never seen you in nothing like. You got some older people out here now that's actually in the church. You know what I mean by the church, the building that will, back in the day was showing up, put them hands on you, and do something to you, but they done learned a whole different method, so they don't. And you think they soft. That's what I mean by what I used to think. If I ain't never heard about you doing nothing, and then sometimes if I heard about you doing something, it didn't matter to me. So that's how that. But now the generation now is they don't. If they heard about you doing something, they might want to try you. Just go, okay, he supposed to be the baddest. Let me see what he got.
Right.
So and that's how it be. But I blame us, the parents. You know what I'm saying? Because if you can get the child to walk out the house with a whole lot of respect, he'll have when he get out in there. When he get out in the streets, he'll have the same respect.
Yeah.
He might, the only way he gonna lose that respect if you show him that you don't care nothing about him showing respect. That goes back to what you said earlier about understanding the child.
Right.
So you got to understand where the child at. You got to, and when you're an adult, you got to go down there and meet them where they at because you done been there before. You might not be doing the same thing they did, but you had the same mischievous, childish mind they have right now to be able to look at that child, especially if you're a male. A male should be able to say, okay, I see what this problem is. Especially if you done watch him a minute. Okay, I see what this problem is. A female should be able to, I see what her problem is. This is what's wrong with her. But we got to want to do that from our heart because you'll pick up on it. When you really want to do it yourself, you'll pick up on it. Mm-hmm. Well, it's just that a lot of times we don't want to do it because we be like, they'll learn. No, they'll get it. And sometimes that ain't true.
Yeah, sometimes it ain't.
Yeah, sometimes it ain't true. So I would say I put that on us. And then just like my, like my mama say all the time, she apologized a lot, but I wish I could have done this better for y'all, because they see, especially if they see it in your life where you might be doing this, and it might not even be something that like you kind of like having a little financial problem, or you having a job issue problem or something like that, and that mother, she talking about, well, I wish I could have had this,
Yeah.
But that's for every parent. The average parent, they want the best for their children.
Right.
They want the best. But so if you really want the best you can give them is a positive thinking.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best you can give them is positive thinking because they'll never lose that. They're gonna lose money. They're gonna lose friends. They're gonna lose relationships, but they ain't gonna never lose that positive thinking. They might push it to the side and don't want to do it because they emotions done got in the way.
Right.
But it ain't like they just done lost it. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we just ignore stuff. We let our emotions tell us to do this and we run on it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're dealing with now. We're dealing with an emotional generation. And when I say we dealing with an emotional generation, I'm talking about all of us. I don't run into so many emotional people. They go off of their emotions so to the point the way you already know, like, hey, day, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't you shouldn't get hot that fast. But then a person like me, I get upset, but it might take me 2-3 weeks or a month and a half to get upset. But when I do get upset, it be over the top.
Yeah.
And I ain't talking about somebody just saying it over the top. It be over the top.
Yeah.
Because I probably got so tired of what's going on because my spirit be done either felt this way for the longest. And I'm telling you in so many ways, I'm showing you so many, you still doing this, still doing that. Then now it's time if I can't get away from you, then I got to do something to make you don't want to come back around me.
Off top, yeah.
And the only reason I do that because so we both can live. I ain't got nothing against you, just that, you know. You need to move to the side. You know what I'm saying? So, you know.
Nah, real talk.
But that was just a little talk we were having, you know, and we be coming back with some more talk, speaking the real. Go Get It Glezzy, we'll be coming back with him again. We're gonna be doing some things, but anybody that wanna, you know, have some comments on this, just put it in the comments and check us out. Anybody that wanna give us a topic you want to see how other people think about certain things in life or whatever, let us know. This is Speaking the Real podcast, man. Speaking the Real podcast with Mr. Go Get It and Go Get It Glezzy. So we'll be getting back at y'all once again. Like I say, y'all can follow Go Get It Glezzy. Let them know where they can follow you.
Yeah, y'all can follow me on Instagram on at Go Get It _Glezzy. Go Get It _Glezzy. You can tap into my music. I got music out under Call Glezzy. You can follow me on YouTube at Go Get It Glezzy, man, and at Mr. Lake City on TikTok and all that, man. You can find me, man. Just tap in, man. Listen to some of my music. Check out my last album, Just the Jewels, and my the encore single that I dropped this year, man. Y'all tap into it, man.
Okay. Yeah. Now y'all can catch me on Cardinal Clarity on Facebook, or Speaking the Real on Facebook, Speaking the Real 1 on Instagram, Mr. Go Get It on TikTok, and on YouTube, Speaking the Real podcast with Mr. Go Get It. Y'all can follow me on all of those there. And like I say at the in the comments, just give your comments. Make sure you like, subscribe, you know what I'm saying, to the podcast. We're gonna be coming to you. I'm also on Apple Music, Deezer, podcast. You can catch me on all of them. You can Google Speaking the Real podcast with Mr. Go Get It, and you can find me anywhere you can get it vocally, or you can get it on YouTube video. We out right now on Mr. Go Get It.
Go Get It Glezzy.
Go Get It Glezzy. Speaking the Real podcast.
What am I to do when they spraying lies, but this is the truth? I ain't gon' post, ain't finna hate on your growth, but they gon' hear my side in the booth. Somebody lied to me too.